was a really wonderful and frightening experience that I would recommend anybody to do. It shocked me, actually. It shocked me. I didn't want to go out of the house, didn't want to go shopping, didn't want to do anything. Yeah. It's taken me 55 years to realise that, you know. We create wonderful children and we give them the tools to let them go out. We just do it so humbly. So Everyday Women is something I am so passionate about.
Love that.
So
I can see it. I can see it and I can feel it.
We're only human. Part of the human condition is we feel fear, we feel stress, we feel anxiety. It's okay. It's okay. I think I've always woke up and gone, what's today going to bring? Everyone said to me, direct to consumer, no way will that work.
But what I'm hearing from you is product, quality, customer service, accessibility. It doesn't sound like the business has been totally driven by the bottom line.
I know I'm not a lot of things. I'd say my greatest asset is knowing what I'm not good at. I didn't have the strategy to spend that money wisely.
Yeah, but honest, so honest.
That is 100% why I brought the investors in. What has been my biggest challenge?
Maxine, yes. You have built an award-winning multi-million pounds turnover business from your kitchen table, Absolute Collagen. Tell us, how was it born?
Wow, how was it born?
Well, how?
Yeah, it was, do you know, hearing it back there, it's really weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's amazing. We've come a long way. But everything's just felt right. It was born from a fine art degree that I did.
Interesting. Tell me about that.
So I got to 50 and I realised that nobody no longer needed me, which was fabulous. I remember waving Margot goodbye from my bedroom with a coffee when she first learned to drive, and I was like, oh my God, I'm free. And I really embraced it, and I thought, right, what do I do? Because I hadn't worked since I was about 25. I was a very happy stay-at-home mum, and I decided to do a fine art degree. And one of the first projects I did, this is so bizarre, and it's so bizarre how it led to Absolute Collagen, was I stripped myself bare of makeup, I let my hair go grey.
Okay.
And the purpose of that project was I wanted to see if, as a woman of a certain age, would I disappear in people's vision if I was quite bland. And it was really eye-opening for me. So it really shocked me how insecure I was about what I looked like.
Without makeup, without any colour in your hair.
Yeah, without colour, without earrings, I wore dowdy clothes. It was a really wonderful and frightening experience that I would recommend anybody to do.
It's stripping bare, isn't it?
Yeah, you really find out who you are and you learn so much about yourself. And it shocked me, actually. It shocked me. I didn't want to go out of the house, didn't want to go shopping, didn't want to do anything. Yeah.
So over what period of time did you do this?
About 3 months.
So then what happened?
So I obviously gave myself a talking to. I thought, my God, this is really sad. And I looked at myself physically, emotionally and spiritually. And one of the first physical things I did was I started looking at what I was putting in my body.
Yes.
And
I'm in this place now.
Yeah. Do you know, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I started, at the time, all the Americans, the buzzword from the USA was bone broth, bone broth. And I thought, well, I know what bone broth is. I make it every weekend when I make a gravy for the Sunday roast.
Yeah.
And so I started boiling up bones like an old witch. And reducing it down, you get left this stock, and I started drinking the stock, and I just had this most amazing sense of well-being. I felt great, my eyes were sparkling. So at the time I wear no makeup, and my hair's growing grey, and I'm dressing dowdy. My friends are going, you're actually quite sparkly, what are you doing? I said, I reckon it might be this bone broth stuff. And I knew when I left the bone broth to settle, there'd be like this jelly on top. And I knew that jelly wasn't fat. So being a woman who's solution focused with ADHD, I was, how do I find out what this jelly is? Because I just had an inkling, an intuition. I was like, there's something in this jelly.
Something.
Yeah. And I did loads of research. So this is kind of a period of about a year, spoke to scientists, spoke to lots and lots of people, and did loads of research and discovered that jelly was collagen.
Okay.
And the word collagen just kept poking out to me everywhere.
And how long ago was this?
So that was 2015.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was a year and a half of messing around with formula. So I realised I had a product. I didn't realise then I had a product. I realised this was something, and my friends were asking for it. They were saying, "What are you doing? Because you look really cool and you look amazing, you know, and can you make some for me?" So there I am, boiling up all this flipping stuff in my kitchen. So at the time, the best form of collagen I could get was from pig's trotters and chicken feet.
Aww.
Yeah, nice. So I'm boiling up big vats.
So what do you do? Go to the butchers and ask them for the... Okay.
Yeah, I knew a chicken farmer at the time was supplying me with chicken feet. That's not supposed to be.
Wow, it's made my
Yeah.
my taste.
Oh, it's horrid. It's horrid.
I mean, it's... Yeah.
Yeah. And... yeah, so that's what I was doing. And then I researched further, and this is where Darcy came in. We found out that marine collagen, so collagen for fish, was far superior for your body, the way your body breaks it down.
It's better. So Darcy is your daughter, and she's the other co-founder.
Daughter, yeah. And that's really bizarre. And, you know, whenever I just think the whole journey just feels right. So Darcy and I started uni at the same time. I went off to do fine art degree, not the same uni. She went off to do food science. In fact, she was doing psychology. She changed right at the last minute, and right at the last minute, to do food science because she'd written a cookbook.
That's perfect.
Well, she'd written a cookbook when she was 16. She's always been into food, and she decided to follow her heart, which was lovely. And then 6 months into my fine art degree, she's researching collagen. It's just really bizarre. Darcy's dissertation was on our product. And that's when you know all the stars lined up, right? So
sure.
I kind of came up with it, and Darcy made sure we didn't kill anybody in the process.
It sounds like a great combination.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That is a lot for me actually to take in.
Hell of a lot.
So just to unearth that a little bit more. So you basically created this product.
Yep.
You used it yourself because you were after better well-being. You were like, right, this is a moment where I'm going to really invest in my own well-being. Then your friends were asking you for this product, so you're boiling it up, I'm imagining, in the kitchen, and then supplying this product to some of your friends. How has it gone from that point to this point?
This point.
Yeah.
So I actually don't like being in the kitchen. It's taken me 55 years to realise that, you know.
Okay.
I just don't find it enjoyable at all. And I was like, oh, this is such hard work, you know, because it is hard work.
Yeah, it is.
And I thought, what can I do? So at that point, we'd realised that marine collagen was better. And there was no way I was cooking up fish skin in my kitchen. Yes.
So is that what collagen comes from?
The best bioavailability, meaning the way your body breaks it down, is for marine collagen. Then it's best for hair, skin, nails.
Okay.
And so, so we started buying in powdered marine collagen. So when you look at collagen, it's a protein and it's quite a big molecule and it cannot get broken down by the system. Okay. So hydrolyzed marine collagen means it's gone through a process where it's been broken down to such tiny molecules that it goes into your system.
Right.
So it was marine collagen, we started buying it in, and that's kind of when I looked up and thought, oh, there's skin supplements out there, but not just collagen. And they needed mixing, they were in big bottles, they were expensive. And I thought, if I'm gonna have to do any of those things, I'm not gonna take it every day.
Yeah.
So I want to be as simple as possible. I wanted the maximum of the finest marine collagen my body needed. So the maximum is 7.5, 8 grams, and we've got 8 grams. You don't need any more than that, your body just passes it through. I wanted it ready mixed because I wasn't going to mix it. I didn't want to keep it in the fridge, and I just wanted it as easy as possible. And that's what I created. And somebody challenged me time and time again about the price and kept saying, you could put £10 a box on this, why aren't you? And it's really weird to say that now because Absolute Collagen has created the pricing for liquid collagen, but we created it. So when I look back, and this man really challenged me, I thought, why can't I? What is it? What is stopping me from putting £10 extra a box? And I spent 2 weeks, and I really, really thought about this. And it goes back to me being that little girl, 7 years old, walking around the shops, and my mum, who was a single parent, wondering why my mum could not afford the things that other mums could. So I wanted it to be accessible, and that is really important to me.
Yeah, I can completely relate to that, wholeheartedly relate to that.
Absolutely.
And is that where it comes from? I've heard you coin, you know, the everyday woman.
Definitely.
Is that so? This is a product that's accessible to everyone, everyday women, everybody.
So I call myself the everyday woman.
Men.
I think I say women because I am a woman and I don't know what it's like to be a bloke. So I discuss from my angle, and I am an everyday woman. And I am that woman no one believed in. I am that woman that didn't speak the language of commerce, business, finance. And I think I said to you, I still have to count the zeros when I do a bank transfer, although I'm banned from doing bank transfers. And I think everyday women have a lot to give, but we're humble and we just get on with the job in hand and we don't shout about it. And I see them because I was a stay-at-home mum for 25 years. And I know what it takes to run a family, to stand alongside somebody that's probably got another career, you know, maybe it's your partner or... So everyday women are really important to me. And when I look at my absoluters, my consumers, my customers, I see my mum every decade of her life, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And that's why customer service is really important to me, because I never want to let that consumer down anywhere. So the everyday woman to me is paramount to our economy, to the world, to everything, to families. You know, we create wonderful children and we give them tools to let them go out. We just do it so humbly. So everyday women is something I am so passionate about.
Love that.
So
I can see it. I can see it and I can feel it.
Yeah, definitely. I can feel it, yeah.
I can feel it. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful. And I think this kind of goes very nicely actually from everyday to the bottom line.
Yeah.
So we've touched on a couple of times just how, you know, the exponential growth of Absolute Collagen in a very short period of time. But what I'm hearing from you is product, quality, customer service, accessibility. It doesn't sound like the business has been totally driven by the bottom line. You mentioned the £10 extra bucks. Talk to me more about that.
So I think that comes back to who I am, and all I ever have to do is the next right thing for everybody around me. And I think that's what everyday women do. So I have my children in the business. So our heads need to hit the pillow every single night and we need to breathe and go, we've done the right thing for everybody. And that means for us, not always, I don't even think we spoke about bottom line for the first 3 years, you know.
Wow.
And that was probably quite naive. But I believe...
That's honest.
Yeah. And in fact, when we went for investment, they were amazed how much money we had. Because we'd always kept the money in the business. It wasn't my money, it was the Absoluters' money. How can I best serve them? What can I do to best serve them? And that's why we got into investment. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I want to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, now is different. You know, we're 5 years on and there are people in the business that worry about the bottom line.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be.
It is a business.
Of course it is.
There needs to be some concern about the bottom line.
But it's always, the bottom line is there to ensure we make money to best serve the Absoluter.
Beautiful. Yeah. So that is, it's a service actually. It's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Definitely.
And giving back in a service.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice. Okay, and then I've heard you quote a lot actually about owning the skin that you're in. Talk to me a bit more about that.
Own the skin you're in, or own who you
amazing.
are.
Yeah.
So, do you know, it's very, very strange. Part of that fine art degree and that whole process I went through.
It's transformational for you, it sounds like.
Really weird. And I used to sit on the edge of my bed every morning because I never thought I was enough, ever. Right from this high. I've never, ever.
I was going to say, it sounds like an inner child.
Yeah.
An inner child speaking
Definitely.
to me.
Never thought I was enough. And so I remember thinking, right, I've stripped myself bare of everything. I have to really step up to the mark and work out if I'm enough. What if I find out
that you're not?
I'm not?
Yeah,
That's,
you are.
Yeah, but that terrified me, honestly. And every single morning I used to get up, and I think it goes back to, you know, I would say I don't conform, but I think as a parent you do conform. You have to. You don't want to be the one on the school gates where your kids are. Well, my mum's different. You know. I think you have to conform to a degree. It's
so funny you said that. I'm sorry to interject.
It's okay.
I was just thinking that. I was thinking actually, you know, you talked about how you waved off your eldest daughter in the car. And then I just wondered at that point, had you just lost your identity? Because you were, I mean, you still are, mom, stay-at-home mom. And then all of a sudden these children are adults and it's like, oh, what's my title now? Well,
I think that was part of it. You know, I used to wake up, and I think a lot of women do wake up and go, right, what hat do I need to wear today? Who does everybody need me to be today?
100%.
And you just fit into that role, because that's what we do, right?
Absolutely.
And we do it with love. We do it because we love our families and we want the best for them.
Yeah.
And suddenly I didn't have to do that. And I think the whole process, stripped myself bare, and I used to literally sit on the edge of my bed, and I would imagine putting a onesie on. That onesie was Maxine. And I do the zip up. I'm going to wear me today. And it's so ironic. Own the skin you're in. I've created a skincare brand.
That's what, yeah.
By wearing my own onesie. And I don't know when it happened, but I just remember one day not having to go through that process because I just woke up as Maxine. And I used to have a little post-it note on my mirror, right? I swear to God, and it said, "You are enough." Yeah. And I think something, you know, I do a lot of work with the Princess Trust, and I'm doing a talk this afternoon, and I always say to them, we're so good at looking at other people. Like I can judge my internals by your externals
100%.
and think, oh my God, she's so got it going on. You know, we're only human. Part of the human condition is we feel fear, we feel stress, we feel anxiety. It's okay. It's okay, you know.
That is a human experience.
Of course it is, and we're all different. We're all supposed to be different.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm lucky. I'm 56. I have got maturity on my side, and I have gone through a process. And I didn't get it till I was 50, for God's sake, you know. So yeah, own the skin you're in. It's just about being you, and really, it's not about own the skin you're in and being aggressive.
Yeah,
it's just
Empowering
about try and fall in love with yourself, right?
And it's hard.
Yeah, very
It's
hard.
When you go down to the root of everything, it always seems to come back to that.
Yep.
Am I enough, or am I liked? Do you
Yeah.
like me? Because I need that
Yeah.
you need that validation.
Yeah.
But actually, you're spot on. If you felt that you like yourself, quite frankly, or love yourself, quite frankly, does it care if Maxine likes me, or
Yeah.
you know?
And there's going to be people that don't like me. That's okay.
It is, because otherwise you're conforming.
Yeah, if I respect people. So Absolute Collagen operates on the power of SIR. Have you heard that?
No.
Okay. So SIR stands for safe, important and respected. Every absoluter
Beautiful.
deserves to feel safe, important and respected. End of. So if I truly respect, I have to truly appreciate that everyone is different.
Yeah.
And their opinions might not be mine, but it's okay. That's equality. It's okay.
And actually, in fact, it's needed.
Yeah.
How boring would it be otherwise if
definitely.
everyone was the same? I heard
Absolutely.
something and I thought it was very interesting actually. And we're talking, and I know there's always good and bad about socials, and you know, I think there's some great things that have come from it, and obviously some not very good. But it was talking about not just the highlight reels, but actually often we're looking at people that are experts in that one area.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're comparing ourselves to like
Yes.
a famous interior designer, an incredible, I don't know, mom, a psychologist, a beauty entrepreneur, a
love
model. And you look and you think, and actually that's their one area.
I like that.
And
a
isn't
lot.
that an interesting thought? And I thought,
I
God,
shall
I do
use
that.
that in my Princess Trust talks.
Do
That's
it.
good.
I've
like
thought
it.
about it a couple
Yeah.
of times actually since, and thought, no, Scarlet Star.
Yeah,
you're
we
comparing
all do
yourself
it.
And you do it, you
Yeah.
know, and try and push yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Own the skin you're in.
Own the skin you're in. Absolutely.
So we've gone from owning the skin that you're in to you taking investment. Talk to me about how that worked, and actually the investment journey. I'm really intrigued to hear about your experience.
So I think owning the skin you're in and owning who you are, part of that is also knowing what you're not. And I know I'm not a lot of things. I'd say my greatest asset is knowing what I'm not good at. And that's good.
Yeah,
I think women are
self-awareness.
really good at that. And so we'd grown the business. It was just 4 or 5 of us. Like, well, there was kind of like 4 of us at the head of the sort of team, if you like, and then the other team were packing and doing different bits and pieces. And I don't think we'd realised quite how fast we'd grown, because you don't, because you're in it.
It's unbelievable.
You're in it. You've got your head down. You just look up, and it was like, oh, okay, what have we done? So if we go back to my early days, very arrogantly, when I came up with the collagen and I discovered it in my kitchen, I said I want in and out in 3 years. So arrogant.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's... I'm sorry, I'm processing that. Wow, and why?
I think because of my age.
But 50's nothing.
I know, but at the time I was like, yeah, you know. And also, I think entering the beauty industry, I'm 56, I was 50 at the time. It was like,
You're
hello.
looking very beautiful.
Well, things have changed in the last 6 years as well.
Yeah, true.
And so, yeah, I wanted in and out in 3 years. I don't know, just weird. And 3 years came, and I had a very...
Which is nothing.
Nothing. I don't realise that at the time. It was a long time. It just went fast, though. And I said to my very young, capable really great team, what do you want? Because it was no longer about me. Absolutely. I had a team who'd worked so hard, and they went away and they came back and they said, we want to keep going. And I said, okay, in that case, I cannot be the person taking you forward.
Okay.
Because I've never done this before. In fact, none of us, 4 of us, were all learning on the job, right? And out of respect for absoluters, we have got to ensure that we last the course if we're going to go forward, and we have the right strategy and the right support. So that was my thinking behind investment. So I went out, I found an investment bank who I really, really liked, or a broker if you like, and I met a couple. And I think it's all about personalities. You have to sort of get to know people. And then we went through about 10 months of looking at investors. Who did we like? Who could we not? It's not about who you like. It's about who can you work with? Who can I sit across the room, eyeball them, and really be honest with? And there was 3 offers on the table at the end of the 10 months. And I can honestly say I did nothing, no due diligence. The whole team did all of that.
Wow.
So I did nothing, you know. So part of, as I said, part of my strength is knowing my weaknesses. There's no point me doing that. I'm not great at that. So left that to them. And they were quite happy to do it. So we had 3 investors, and this was during the pandemic. So it was towards the end of 20.
It's not very long ago.
No, not at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Surprised that you were all self-funded.
yes, I self-funded myself.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And I looked at the investors and I thought, who's the most human out of these 3?
Yes.
Because I needed to have somebody that was going to challenge me, support me, us, and in it for the right reasons. Absolutely in it for the right reasons. And so we went with the one that was most human, and it was, I mean, the transformation in the business since, because what they did, and I did wonder how they were going to change the business, because it's always a bit of a, what's going to happen? How can this get any better?
Did you feel like you're losing control?
No, never. Never. I'm still the main shareholder.
Yeah.
We discuss everything. As a family, we've got the biggest share pot. And what they did is they brought strategy, systems, processes. Yeah.
To scale.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
which makes sense.
it does make sense. And everything happened at the right time. Because when I look now, there's no doubt that from October 22 to October 23 is going to be hard, right? It's going to really be hard for any industry, I think. And I look at where we are now. We've built in the last, since 2020, we've built a fantastic team. We've got a really strong brand. We've got great product and products coming up. We're trusted, and we've got a strategy for everything. And I just feel really confident going forward. We have got a great team, and investment was the right thing to do for us. It's not for everyone.
No.
And I think what was music to the investors' ears, all the ones we spoke to, I said, I'm not going to be leading this ship. They went, really? I went,
That's what I was getting. I'm really. But you almost quite courteously, it's like, yeah.
Because I've got no experience. So if I want my team to be safe, important, and respected,
And you want your
and my absoluters, I have to step aside and put somebody at the helm who really knows what they're doing. And November last year, we brought a CEO in who is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, she's really, really good. Absoluter at the forefront, everything. In fact, she is an absoluter. So she didn't take the product before. When I say she's an absoluter,
She embodies
it. So she is an everyday woman. She just gets on with it. She's not precious. She, if the ship was going down, she'd be there with her getting the water out. She'd get us to that island no matter what. That's what an absoluter is. So yeah, it's been it was definitely the right thing to do. And when I look at the team, when I look at Darcy, her journey, she's been so supported by the investors and by the CEO. We've got a great CFO who probably wouldn't have, the CEO, the CFO and the CMO would not have come if it was just us. Because it was just too insecure. As in, not insecure, we were a really good business and we were growing well, but
the strategy wasn't there.
No,
we weren't talking about what are we going to do if this goes wrong at this period, how you visualise it. Because like you said, you hadn't really got that experience.
No.
You took it to this
Yeah.
level and then have continued to add to.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
I remember.
That's really honest.
I remember-
I'm not hearing ego, which is
Oh,
surprising sometimes
I
when
don't like egos.
we're dealing, someone
Yeah.
of your success, in all honesty.
Yeah. No, I always say I'm just little old me doing my thing. We're nothing special, we're just us. I'm the everyday woman, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I do recall is just before we went for investment, I looked at our bank balance. I thought we got quite a bit of money in the bank because we'd never taken it out. We'd never had big wages. It was never my money. It was always money. Absolute had put it there. So it's how can we best serve them? And I didn't have the strategy to spend that money wisely.
Yeah, but honest, so
Yeah,
honest.
That is 100% why we brought the investors in. And for us, it was the right thing to do. Yes, they've got their own inflection point. So they're like a 5-year, and then we'll look at it again and see. But yeah, I mean, I've learned so much from them being on absolutely board meetings. What was that, you know? But it's doing things properly, isn't it?
It's doing things properly, and it's doing things with real scale and with an actual get-out plan.
Yes.
If that's what you want, and
Yes.
what will, as you say, serve the absolutists and serve the team that you've got. They've put their heart and soul into it as well as you. So no, I can relate. We're both two women with investment in our businesses. I have been to a lot of events. You and I were at one very recently where we heard women on stage talking about how difficult, and I know it can be for everybody, but specifically I have heard for women, how difficult it has been to obtain investment. You had 3 offers on the table. Did you find it difficult to obtain investment?
No, because I say that probably with arrogance actually. No, we weren't a really good business to invest in. We'd had scale, we had a product that people wanted, it was a new market, our overheads are very low. When I go back to the beginning of my journey, nobody wanted to listen to me because I didn't speak the language of commerce, finance, And you
had pig trotters.
And I had pig trotters, crazy woman. And I self-funded. And I think a lot of women self-fund.
Yeah.
And it really winds me up, because I was chatting to a bank recently and they sort of said, how can we get the everyday woman to come to us? I said, they're never going to come to you.
No.
You don't speak the language. They're never going to speak your language, right? So if I'd have come to you with my yellow box and I didn't understand what EBITDA was, you'd have gone, oh, she doesn't understand the language that we're talking. So I think it has to change. And I hope that it does change. But yeah, for me, I was self-funded. And I think a lot of women are, because we're risk takers. But we play our cards close, I think.
And sometimes, actually, I think that, and this might sound naive, but I think there can be a naivety in business.
Definitely.
Not just for women, for everybody. When it's on a smaller scale business to start off with, that, and this is where we go back to worth, actually. Would somebody be interested in investing in my business? Would they have the belief, is that possible for me? Because when you may not have operated within investment field or in a corporate level where you understand this is normally how we scale business, you don't even know that that's possible. You might have heard of a bank loan.
Yeah.
But that's the truth. You don't even know that that's an option necessarily.
No, I agree with that. But also I think I wanted to call the shots. And I think if we'd have had investment on day one, I would never have called the shots.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought, okay, they've got the experience, let me follow their lead. Whereas actually, a lot of people looking at my business, I want to go direct to consumer. Now, okay, it doesn't sound bizarre now, but when we put the website live and when our official launch, the website went live on the 16th of December 2016 and our official launch was May 17. And that's because I wanted to see if there's any issues with the website and just wanted to sort of check everything first. And so it's really weird to look back at that time. So everyone said to me, direct to consumer, no way will that work. You'll need the backing of a big brand, you'll need to be in all the retail. And actually, who are you? I had that time and time again. I had somebody point at me, I'm not going to mention her name, who's quite a high-figured profile woman. She pointed at me and she went, yes, how do you expect to compete with his marketing budget? So there had been lots of things, there was so much against us. But I always go on my intuition. My intuition was, we're creating a market. I need to educate the end user on that market. I am the best person to do that. I know I'm going to do it with integrity. I know I'm never, ever going to let them down. I cannot trust a third party to do that. That's not saying we won't now, because it's different. We're established. We've got a brand. People know, you know, and because we've got traction, we can kind of dictate to the stores a little bit, which is quite nice as well. But going back to the investment piece, if I'd have got investment on day one, I don't think the business would be where it is now.
Yeah.
I really don't.
And tell me, tips-wise, I guess, if there was somebody that's watching this and like, actually, I'm really interested in seeking investment, I don't know how to go about it, or anything you might have learned from that process, if there's one piece maybe of advice that you could share.
Talk to people, and I would say I don't like networking. However, it has worked for me, and I remember the very first time I went anywhere was the Alison Rose report in Birmingham in 2018-19, and there was a sea of 500 women, and Alison Rose delivered her report, and I put my hand up at the end and I said, how can I get my bank to talk to me personally, because I cannot get them to phone me. And that led to a catalogue of events where I went on the Accelerator and NatWest Accelerator programme, and I learned about EBITDA, I learned about investment. So put yourself out there and never assume that everyone knows everything. So don't be embarrassed to ask questions. Don't be embarrassed to say, what does that word mean? I don't know. And you might have to ask 3 or 4 times. That's okay. So I would just say, put yourself out there, ask questions, talk to people. And be humble when you're doing it. Have respect for people as well. Brilliant advice. And I think kind of one of the final questions that I want to ask you is around challenge. So around what would you see as maybe being your biggest challenge, or what have you learned from? What has been my biggest challenge? Getting people to believe in me. You know, I didn't need people to believe in me actually, because I believed in myself and I believed in my product. I think, what's the biggest challenge?
Even learn. Even a learn.
A learn has been, I am enough.
Yeah.
I am.
And is that what you believe
enough.
now?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Regardless of, and that's
Amazing.
not because I've got a successful business. That's because the journey I've been on, I've been able, because I think if you want to get to know yourself, start a business. You will so get to know yourself. You'll know how you operate under pressure. And what I've learned about myself, which I didn't actually know, is I need time to process and to think things through. And sometimes that can take a couple of weeks, I'm afraid. But I have to think things through. And I would have said to you before that I'm a quick fire person. I'm not. I can be. But if it's really important decisions, I need time. So get to know yourself. And don't be scared. You know, someone said to me the other day, what makes an entrepreneur? And I said, entrepreneurs aren't scared of being scared. I've been scared all my life. From the moment I was born, I won't go into my story. I'm adopted, and I was adopted at 10 months old. I was in care. Anyway, so I think, and I had an alcoholic mother. I think I've always woke up and gone, what's today going to bring? You know, I don't do that anymore. I can breathe now. So I'd say...
hyper alert, isn't it?
Yeah, don't be scared of being scared. And I think, as I said earlier, the human condition has conditions that are anxiety, tiredness, fear. They're all okay. We all think, oh my God, I'm scared, I'm feeling fear, I'm a failure because... No, you're not. That's kind of normal. These things are meant to try us, right? So that would be my advice.
I could talk to you all day.
I know, it's great. I could talk to you all day as well.
But we haven't got all day. So I'm going to go straight into our lightning round. Are you ready, Maxine?
I am ready for the lightning round.
Okay, good. What do you do for fun?
Run. I love my running.
Oh, really?
Love being outdoors. Love it.
Amazing. What does equality mean to you?
Equality means to me not treating everybody the same. It means seeing everybody as individual and meeting their individual needs.
Sustainability?
Sustainability is massive on the agenda. It means to me leaving the world in a better place for future generations and thousands of years to come.
Absolutely. Absolute collagen.
Yes.
Who inspires you and why?
Every everyday woman that does everything every day because she loves her family and she just gets on with it.
I love that. That just gave me chills. Does, you know what? That's made me feel emotional. That's almost like a bit of it. It really has. It's like a bit of appreciation.
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't that interesting? I've never heard anyone say that before.
Oh no, I just think we're amazing.
Yeah.
Everyday women that you see in the street every day, and they just get on with their daily life, and they do it for everyone else. They do very little for themselves.
What makes an exceptional leader?
Knowing your own strengths and weaknesses, and knowing when it's time to step aside.
You've given some beautiful examples of that. And finally, tell us an inspirational word or quote.
I think that would have to be, once you have a loving relationship with yourself, every other relationship becomes a plus and not a must.
Phenomenal. Maxine, like I said, I could speak to you all day.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Honestly, true honour.
Oh, thank you.
Honour.
And this lovely location, look at it, it's fab.
I just feel like there's something we need to do at the end. I'm like, thank you.
Thank you, it's been super, I've loved it.